Hello everybody, welcome to the United Stand. Manchester United have lost the Europa League final and the despair is real. We are lost as a club. Rest in peace, and there's a lot to get into tonight. We're going to get into it. What's next? We're going to talk about Amorim. We're going to talk about Spurs. We're going to do the player ratings. Make sure you register for the player ratings. Links in the video description. I want loads of people to do that. A lot of people saying Amorim out in the chat. I'm not going to mess around. I'm going to get straight into this. I've been sitting on this for a while, probably all season. I've been trying my best. I think there's a lot of United fans like me who, you know, we don't do the flip-flop thing. We don't start screaming about we're the best team in the world when we beat Lyon and then Amorim out when we lose to Wolves. We wait till the end of the season. We wait to see what happens and then we assess things. And I think you've got to be completely and utterly honest. I don't see a way back for this football club. I really don't. At this moment in time, I don't see a way back for this football club. What will happen tomorrow is Cunha will be here we go, and some morons in our fan base will fall for it. It's not going to change a lot. It won't change a lot. The football club is so far away from Liverpool and Arsenal, it may as well be a different planet. We're miles away. Now, we might start climbing the table. We might start playing a little bit better, but Bruno Fernandes ain't going to be in Champions League next year, and then he'll be 33 when we are in the Champions League next. Harry Maguire will be gone when we're in the Champions League next. So will be Casemiro. Those three players are probably three players that, you know, we're meant to be relying on, and we've just basically, there's no point in them. They won't be here next time we're in Europe. Will we be in Europe next year? We'll delve into all of this. I've got to say, the first thing that jumps out to me about this game is that it's kinky FC again, isn't it? Kinky FC. When I say kinky, I mean like we must love being pissed on. We must love getting pissed on. Golden Showers FC. We must love it. We must love it because I'm watching that game tonight and I'm like, was the brief to lose the game? I'm appalled. I've never really, I've said things in watch-alongs. I very rarely say this in a match reaction. And I will go through everybody's comments, so don't worry. I'm not intending to finish this stream anytime in the next half an hour or probably even hour because there's so much to talk about. And I think tomorrow's a different day and we'll have to find a way back. But tonight, we've got to go through all this. I watched that game tonight and I'm going to get on to Amorim. Don't you worry. No one's getting protected. No one's getting protected. The only thing I care about is my son crying upstairs and Manchester United. And everybody's got upset kids. Some of you will be crying as well. I think that, what about all those people who've been to Bilbao? How much money it's cost them? I know how much it cost us to get out there. It's ridiculous. At some point, this great football club has got to say, oi, enough is a fucking enough. Who do you think you are? Ollie Murs? You're not pop stars. You're custodians of a football club that means something. And you've been pissed. You know what? 39 fucking points. 39 points. Our worst ever Premier League points total is 59. And that's embarrassing. Last season, we got 60. And people were going 8th. I fucking love 60 points. I bloody love 39 points. And this is what I mean now. You lose that final and it's open season, mate. Open season. It's like the person who's borrowed money all around the place and then says, I'm going to win it all on this poker game. And then they lose it. And it's like, yeah, you're going to lose a lot more now. It's open season. You've messed up and all goodwill is gone. 39 points for a Man United side is absolutely disgusting. It's absolutely abysmal. And I tell you what, why is it I know and you know that final tonight was a rescue mission? That final tonight was a lifeline. Why do we get it? And I tell you now, honestly, I'm 45 years of age. That is the worst European final I've seen from Man United in my life. Awful. They'll never top this season and they'll never top that final. It was almost as if they agreed to lose. It was shit. What minute did they score in? Somebody get me that. What minute did they score in? 42nd minute. So we had the whole of the second half. The whole of the second half. The first substitution was 71 minutes. What was he looking at that made him think, oh, I need to keep these players on. They were fucking shit, mate. What was it? What was it that made you think that Delo, Xerxes, Mainu, Garnacho, Ericsson, you know, there's so many players he could have brought on, and he decided to stick with that shit heap. There's a part of me that thinks, are we losing? Is there something we're missing out on here? Is there something we're not getting? I have never seen a lack of urgency in a final like that. I have never seen such a stupid, I use the word stupid. Look, I've backed this team. I've backed this manager for the last week. I've been there saying, look, you don't get many of these finals. We've got to enjoy it. We've got to back the players. But what I always said is, if it goes wrong, I ain't going to stick up for anyone. You can say what you bloody well like. You've got absolutely every right to say whatever you want. If you're hammering him out, fine. If you're hammering him in, fine. If you want this player sold, fine. There is, I will not sit here and talk to you, tell you what to think anyway, and I certainly won't tell you that you're wrong. Whatever you think tonight, you're not wrong, because that club is at rock bottom. And some of you will go very extreme and some of you will go very, very calm. But I'm telling you now, I have never seen a final like that. And I'm watching the minutes go by and I'm like, we're not going to score. We're not. You know, at the end, I would have laughed if we'd equalised. You know, against Leon, I was totally engaged. I was like, oh my God, oh my God. I'm watching a final and I'm looking at us popping crosses in and I'm going, I think I'll laugh if we equalise. I'm disengaged that much. I think I will laugh. I actually got to the point I was like, it'd be unfair on Spurs if we score. And Spurs didn't play very well. But that's, you know what? Spurs fans, they don't care. They're getting pissed. They're having a great night. Well done. They're not even listening to this. Spurs played shit. Spurs played really shit. So how bad were we? Because Spurs deserved to win. I've never seen a Man United side turn up for a final like that. It was an absolute embarrassment. And all those people who've spent that money, all those people who've gone out there. And you know what? The worst thing is, I said it before the game, it's never acceptable to lose. But to not even score a fucking goal. To watch a final and not score a goal. It's a sin. It's an absolute sin. And the fallout from this is going to be horrific, by the way. If anyone thinks this summer's going to be boring, it's probably going to be horrible, but it ain't going to be boring. You know, maybe Bruno does go to Saudi. Garnacho, I think, is gone. Maybe Mainu's gone. This is disintegration. I mean, I don't know where we go now. If I was Sir Jim Radcliffe, I'd do the right thing and sell the club. Because I just think this club now, I mean, you know, maybe we start the season, we win a few games and we enjoy being eighth. I don't know where we go now. Like, we'll talk about that in a bit. Let me talk about the final. Got a lot of people tuning in. Please do subscribe to the channel. I know a lot of people are putting comments in. We will go through them all. I will get through them all, I promise. But there's a few things I've got to do. Player ratings, links in the video description. I will whack it into the live chat as well. Let me talk to you about Ruben Amorim because I have said I was going to talk about it. And it's probably going to be, you know, I'm not scared about this. Like, I'm not scared about this. The reality is I'm allowed to say what I like, and so are you, within reason. It's not going to be rude. It's not going to be toxic. The first thing I've got to say is that anybody who's been hammering him out for weeks, I disagree. I disagree. I think it's a waste of time. I think some of these people were saying Amorim's balls here when we got him 5 months ago. I don't think you were ahead of the game. I think you were just being toxic and negative. That's my opinion on it. And I'm not hammering him out, and he's not going to get sacked. It's a big waste of time. You're not going to get the manager out. It won't happen. The club can't afford it. It's not going to happen. So I have to say that to start off with. This is not hammering him out because it won't happen, and I'm not going to waste my time on it. And you know me, I don't do that. I didn't do it with Solskjaer. I didn't do it with Jose. I didn't do it with Ten Hag. So I'm not going to waste my time out screaming hammer him out. It's a waste of time. And also, why should another manager get sacked instead of the board? We've got to get rid of the Glazers. We've got to get rid of the Sir Jim Radcliffes of this world, and we won't. So I'm not going to sit here and blame it all on the manager because the Glazers are still here. And while they're here, this club's fucked. You know, there was a rival fan in the watch along and they said the downfall of Man United needs to be studied. And this started the day Sir Alex Ferguson left. This has been, it's really sad actually, because you think about it and we need to have these profound conversations. You go back to, I remember when Sir Alex Ferguson left in 2013, and I've always remembered this song, and I never liked the band. I don't even know who they are. Republica, maybe? I don't know. He walked off the pitch, and Sky did a compilation from the start to the end, and it was, we dream the same dream, we want the same thing. And they played the whole song. Oh, and all that we want is to live it together. Whoa, and you got Giggs scoring, Beckham, we dream the same. And it's Sir Alex all the way through. We want the same, and all the way through. And I'm like, goosebumps now. And I'm like, what happens? I'm so sad. Sir Alex is going. And I look back at it now, and that video really was the beginning of where we've got to now. It's taken 12 years to get to this point, but this is the low point. It's 12 years. 12 years. And we may not even be at the lowest point yet, but this is the lowest we've been. 12 years. And it's been happening for 12 years. It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. And if this was Liverpool Football Club, the Glazers wouldn't survive. They wouldn't survive. But for some reason at Man United, I don't know why. We're all part of it. I don't know why. But let's talk about tonight. I just wanted to preface it by saying the only people that need to go from this football club are Sir Jim Radcliffe and the Glazers. Amrim's not going to go anywhere. But here we go. And can I just say, I don't want to rub salt in the wound, but we better go through everything tonight. Genuinely, the chances of getting Gyökeres 3 hours ago were great. They were really good. And that is just another kick in the balls when you've already had a big one. Like, they were genuinely good to get Gyökeres. Forget it now. It's gone. Absolutely gone. So, that's gone. Let's talk about Amrim. Right, I'm not going to hold back. He absolutely embarrassed himself tonight. And I'm not hammering him out, and I don't dislike him, and I think the situation he's in is bad. But all the losses in the Premier League are going to hurt him now. And what happened to him tonight is going to hurt him now. And there's no point pretending. There's no point sitting there. It's like saying, like, I don't want to talk to Spurs fans. I never wanted to talk to Spurs fans. I never wanted the banter with Spurs fans. I was never interested in that. Spurs can go on their own journey. Well done. You beat us. The same as Villarreal. The same as Barcelona. Go and do your thing. I'm not interested. Banter us if you want. I'm not even going to listen. Well done. You've won the game. I trust me. Go and enjoy winning the game. Because when we beat Bayern, I spent no time bantering Bayern. When we beat Chelsea, I spent no time bantering Chelsea. Just enjoy your win. Jog on. We're in a fucking mess. Spurs absolutely destroyed us tonight. Destroyed us. Ange Postecoglou basically in 4K absolutely schooled Ruben Amorim tonight in the most basic way possible. You know, if this was a military tactic, it would be from the Napoleonic era. It will have been studied to death. Everybody knows it. It was park the bus, counter-attack, and funnel them down the wide to make them crosses into the box where you've got good centre-backs who'll head it away. For 90 minutes, they did that, and we had no answer. Embarrassing. Embarrassing. And what would I have done? What do you mean, what would I have done? I'm just a guy sat with an amazing community talking about football because it helps. But even me, if I was Ruben Amorim, I'd have removed the centre-back because they're not attacking. I'd have took a centre-back off and I would have put them up front in the last half an hour. Because we were never going to score with 10 minutes of Harry Maguire. It needed to be half an hour. You know, if all we're going to do is put crosses in, get two up front as quick as you fucking can and put somebody up front who's good in the air. And we did it for the last 10 minutes. I mean, I couldn't believe how basic it was. The amount of times Dorgu or Mazraoui were unmarked and somebody would try and ping it over in the air and then Udogie or Porro would just sprint out and get the ball. And it was like, I bet Ange was sat there going, I can't believe my luck. We've scored a really scrappy goal and they're still going side to side and putting crosses in the box, which we'll eat up all day. There was Creativity. We can't move the ball quick. We can't move the ball quick. We can't play one-touch football. We're so shit. We're just so shit. So I think that's the tactical element, I would say, from the start. The second element was the team. The team was wrong, and, I don't want to sit here as, as a fan and say, oh, we got it right, we got it right, we got it right. But I think that, there's a quote coming out here from Luke Shaw saying, we all have to question ourselves if we are good enough to be here. You have to question yourself, mate, because you're shit, basically. You've been stealing a living for ages. You should be in prison. Honestly, it's not his fault he's been picked, but he's crap. He's crap. He's absolutely crap. And that's not his fault, by the way. Gary Neville basically said, I'm not good enough, and he retired. Luke Shaw needs to just leave Man United. He ain't good enough. He's not good enough. He's going to get injured again, and he ain't good enough. So he's got to go. That was a shit performance. I saw him come back from this massive injury a few weeks ago, and I thought it was fitness. I thought it was sharpness. Shit. He's shit. He's crap. He's nowhere near. He used to be one of the best left-sided defenders in Europe. He's rubbish. But you know what? That brings me back to Amorim. His team selections were brave, but wrong. I said it, and most of you said it. You've got to start. You know what? I can't believe how I'm talking to you. I can't. I've genuinely been thinking about this, and I don't know how many of you are like this. I've genuinely been thinking about this for weeks. The trauma, the oblivion of not grabbing this lifeline. And I've been like, nightmare, absolute nightmare. But now that it's happened, I almost feel liberated because we deserve it. And I just don't live my life like that. I believe in honesty. I believe in trust, and we deserve this. Like, I don't feel, maybe I feel tomorrow, maybe I feel different, but we deserve it. We don't deserve this. United fans don't deserve this, but the club fucking deserves it. They've sacked half their workforce. They've fucked up for years. We deserve this. You can't run a football club like this and not end up like this. Anyway, I knew Spurs were going to pick Bentancur, Sarr and Basuma. And I don't need to do That's Football to know that Basuma, Sarr and Bentancur are ridiculously physical and ridiculously intense. And that is why I said you've got to put Casemiro and Agate in that team. The fact that Agate didn't play 1 minute was fucking criminal. Criminal. You're playing Sarr, Basuma and Bentancur, and you go with Bruno, Casemiro, Mount and Ahmad. And you create fuck all in the first half, and you still stick to it. Mate, that's where it went wrong. That is completely where it went wrong. And the scary thing is, I know that, and you know that, they're going to kill us in the midfield. And they killed us in the midfield. And killing people in the midfield, I know they didn't attack, but we couldn't get through. We couldn't get through. That's why we had to go wide. We couldn't play through the middle. They shut us down because we couldn't fight them in the midfield. So that was a mistake. Mason Mount was a mistake. Just wasn't in the game. I don't know what it is about Ruben Amorim and Mason Mount, but I tell you what, there used to be a player called Darren Anderton who did fuck all for 2 years and then turned up for the Euros or the World Cup and got picked for England. And I don't know how Mason Mount started that final. Totally doesn't deserve to. Totally unjustified. And a very, very strange choice. And if I was Garnacho, I would be sat there going, you know what? Week in, week out, February and March, no Ahmad, no Mason Mount, week in, week out, Saturday, Wednesday, Thursday, Sunday, I'm playing all the fucking time. The final comes along, I'm on the fucking bench for Mason Mount. Waste of time. Luke Shaw, I don't even know where to start. I'm not having a go at the players here, by the way. I'm having a go at the manager. I'm talking about the manager. The Mason Mount selection was crazy. The Bruno and Casemiro selection in the midfield was wrong. And the Luke Shaw selection at left centre-back, I'm watching the first 45 minutes and I'm like, he's crap. He's having a really bad game. And he cost us the goal. Not just him, but he cost us the goal. So, look, you've got a few things you've got to talk about there. You've got Amorim picking Luke Shaw, Mason Mount and putting Bruno in the pivot. We created absolutely nothing. And Ange parked the bus and countered and we didn't know what to do. The most basic tactic in football history. Sit back and counter. And we didn't know what to do. I mean, it's a stinker. It's an absolute... Ruben Amorim's score is a 1. It's an absolute stinker. That doesn't mean he should be sacked. Some people will sack him. That's fine. You won't because you're not in charge. But some people will say Amorim out. But I can't sit here. I don't do Player FC. I don't do agendas. I support Manchester United. And when I see something that damages the thing I love, I'll call it out. And you know what? I can probably move past losing at home to Wolves. I can probably move past some of the losses this season. But one thing I won't move past is a Europa League final with that much jeopardy and that many eyes on it and being embarrassed and watching a team not turn up. And I tell you what, respect to Luke Shaw, he will always stand up. I'm judging him as a player. I'm not judging him as an individual, as a person. Fair play, he probably will front up and do interviews. But you know what? One thing I really, really want to say. I've got no time, 0 time, for any player that comes out and stands up and says, we're sorry, or this, that, and the other. It means nothing. It means absolutely nothing. I would rather have the most arrogant cockhead player who turns up who is arrogant. Who is generally not a nice person. As long as they turn up in a Man United shirt, I don't care. I'm tired. This season is... there isn't even a word for this season. There just isn't a word. There isn't. What are we talking about here? It's terrible. James says 100% Cunha, here we go. James, what do you do with that, though? What do you do? I mean... What do you do? I'll have to wake up. I don't know. When Cunha... I like Cunha. I think he's a good signing. And it's unbelievable that he's going to sign for Man United. And it is a positive. But what do you do with that? I mean, do we just go, don't care? It's not his fault. Do we go... Do we fall for it again? I mean, I don't know what you do with that. I really don't. I feel sorry. The people I feel sorry for is you, the fans. Jay says, if you blame Luke Shaw for the loss, you're done. I don't remember blaming Luke Shaw for the loss, but he was fucking shit. He wasn't the only one, though. I'm not blaming any individual. I think if you individualise this, you're an idiot. I mean, Amorim's got to take total responsibility as the manager, but the players, I mean, look, they've been shit. Some of them have been shit for years. Casemiro was good before tonight. Look, there's lots of chats. I'm going to read them in a minute, but they're flying in. So I just want to talk about a couple of other bits as well. What next? Yeah, that's probably a hard one. I'll probably come back to that. I mean, what next is terrifying. I mean, do you think I've discussed Amorim enough? I mean, you're happy with that? Because honestly, 1 out of 10. He's been schooled by Ange Postecoglou, who played Tony Pulis ball, and we didn't have a fucking clue what to do with. He's picked the wrong team in all areas, and Spurs didn't have Kulusevski, Maddison and Bergwall. I mean, you can't... What would they have done to us if they had those three, by the way? I mean, that's scary. We're missing De Ligt and Martinez, they're defenders. Defensively, we weren't even that bad. Like, that's our best attack. That's our best attack. I tell you what, I really do hope Liam Delap is the next R9, because even at that, I don't think he's going to be good enough to turn this ship around. It's scary. It's scary. Look, the worst loss tonight. The great thing is we have each other as a community, and we'll always have each other, and hopefully we'll always people aren't going to down tools and stop supporting Man United. That'd be ridiculous. We're in it together. And I'm very grateful that we have each other, because not being able to talk about it would be the worst thing. The worst loss would have been a massive injustice. Like a dodgy red card and we lose 1-0, or a late stupid penalty that wasn't a penalty. That would have been the worst. Like an injustice would have been the worst. There was no injustice. We got what we deserved, and I can only repeat, that's the worst Man United performance in a European final I've ever seen. To not turn up is incredible. And you know what? If I was in charge of that football club, by the way, huge issues. You can't trust those players. You can't trust that team. Like, you're meant to be building a future. I will never trust most of those players again. Some of the younger ones might learn it, but I will never trust Bruno in a final again. Never. That performance was just... look, and I'm not individualising this in any way. I'm just having an honest reaction with you good people and not doing agenda. That Bruno Fernandes performance as a captain, I mean, since the Saudi thing, he's been shit. Before the Saudi thing, he was unbelievable. Since the Saudi thing, I mean, that performance from Bruno tonight was fucking awful. I mean, let's not forget, we're all going to go in on Luke Shaw, and we're all going to go in on Onana on the goal, and they both should have done better. But let's not forget how it starts. For some reason, at 0-0, Bruno decides, with the ball in the centre of the pitch, to play a pass that's not even possible and lose the ball. If your captain's indisciplined doing Hollywood balls in a Europa League final, what chance have you got of getting that team to play properly? I mean, and this is a guy we pay 300 grand a week to and won't take 120 million quid for. I'll take that money now, by the way. Maybe I'm just in that mood. Maybe I'm feeling that way. I'll take that money now. Because, and people will say, oh, no, you're just saying that. You're just saying that. No, I can't explain to you how important Manchester United Football Club is to me and how everybody else in it isn't at the moment. There's very little things in that club that I'd go, yeah, let's keep hold of. I'm like, this is the lowest point. I said we needed a reset. I said the Glazers needed to go. I said get rid of the debt, reset. It's time for a fucking reset. Why carry on? Bruno's 31 next. Why bother? Why bother trying? Like, if he can turn up and do that in a final, what's the point? It's not part. Can't trust you in part of the future. Keep Maguire for another year, move him on. Keep Casemiro for another year, move him on. Bruno 120 million, build again. Just build again. Like, there's just no point. It's poisoned. This football club is poisoned. We better do the player ratings. Mark every player out of 10, 6 being the average. Links in the description. If you've still got time to register, actually, we'll go through that in a moment. But I just want to try and move through a couple of things, and then we're going to go through some of your comments as well. What next is the one that people keep talking about, which is what next. And we'll be talking about this a lot tomorrow. I'm going to get Terry on the show tomorrow as well, because he's always quite calm about these things, and I think we need a different side of it as well. I am devastated, by the way. I am devastated. It's that I suppose it's that realization, isn't it? When all is lost, and there's no point shouting about it. I'm devastated about the state of the football club. I don't feel like tonight is it. I feel it's an accumulation of things. I think there's a lot of people who need to take a long, hard look at themselves as well. I'm not going to start calling names, but there's a lot of people who've contributed to this. There's a lot of people that are legends of this football club who've stayed quiet about this Glazer ownership because it suited them to do it. They're contributors. It's on their conscience. They've sat back quietly and taken their pound, and that's been going on for a very long time. So, but look, we'll talk about what's next in a moment. We'll do the player ratings as well. I mean, just to add insult to injury, by the way, Romano was speaking about Gyökeres about an hour before kickoff. Very big chance of us signing him. gone. Pletty goal right before kickoff. Cherky, we're in for him. Gone. And people say, well, is it gone? Well, where would the money come from? It has to be gone. Where would that money come from? It has to be Liam Delap now. I mean, but I'm wandering into what next for a moment, right? I've seen the figures. I've read the articles. I know the situation. We're in big trouble financially. This is why Sir Jim Radcliffe never should have done this deal. He should have found the money to get them out, or he should have walked away. He never, ever should have done a vanity project with the Glazers, because we are in such big trouble. Yeah, I do think Garnacho's probably gone. I do. Okay, right, let's do these player ratings, because some people are going to be interested in this. Then we'll do what next? And then we'll do the... we'll go through some of your comments as well. What about the Villa game on Sunday, Mark? What about the tour next week? I mean, I take no satisfaction in what I'm about to say. And I don't know whether I'm in the minority or not. But I have said to you for a long time that after a season like this, with the injuries we've had and the amount of games we've had, to go and do what we have done at the end of this season and fly halfway across the world to play 2 games in Asia for 8 million quid has got to be the most mercenary thing, and we've done a lot, we've ever done. These players need rest. These players do not need to go to the other side of the world to play 2 fucking meaningless... I mean, it's Man United, isn't it? This is who we are. We're flying to fucking the other side of the world to play 2 meaningless games after the shittest season in living memory. And people are going to turn up and cheer them. And that's why we'll fail. Because we've got this football club that people will just cheer shit. It's incredible. It really is. Okay, let's do the player ratings. So, look, we'll probably get through this quickly. Then we'll do what next. Then we'll do your comments. Because I think that whilst these players... I'm going to do them really. You're going to just completely and utterly do the right thing. And... 1 minute. Yeah, I'll give fair scores. You're going to go mad. Okay, that's about right, isn't it? Okay. Look. Right, honest. Like, 6 is average, 5 is below average, 4 is poor, 3 is shit. Okay, I don't do 2s and 1s. Because 2 and 1 is basically sabotage 1, and 2 is, you know, get another career. So I'm going to go with a below average, shit. Yeah, shit. Look, 2.6. I expect it. So, you know, whatever. I think he can do better for the goal. A lot of people are blaming Luke Shaw, but honestly, the reactions from him, as I said in the match, are like the Statue of Liberty. Like, they're just, it's just so slow. Also, I saw it loads of times in the game. He could have played out from the back. He's kicking the ball, Air Miles FC. There was a point where Yoro wanted him to run out, sweep a keeper, and he wouldn't. There's about 3 crosses he could have come and got, and he didn't, and it was causing panic. I've played the game. I've watched the game. That defence has got zero confidence in him, and it causes chaos. Even the goal itself, I think even Luke Shaw's like, I don't really know what's going on with my goalkeeper. That is a goalkeeper who is meant to be experienced, who is meant to be a top-class sweeper keeper, ball-playing goalkeeper. He can't save shots. He can't come for crosses. He boots the ball long. He instills no confidence in his defence. He's got to go. It's as simple as that. It's just got to go. Like, we can't go into another season with him. You could say that about the whole team, by the way, but you can't. But there was no one else to pick. There was no one else to pick. Yoro, look, the thing about Yoro is I really, really like him. And it's hard to see what he did wrong across the game. The goal was nothing to do with him. And I liked that he kept trying to probe and go forward. The thing that irritated me was the shot at the end when there's 3 minutes to 3 minutes to go and you're shooting from 30 yards. But, that's learnt behaviour. I'd give him a 6. Really, I'd give him a 6. I don't think he did anything wrong. I don't. I know we're pissed off, but he was one of the few that I would look at and go, he didn't actually do anything wrong. I know we're all pissed off, but he didn't. And he got himself fit. And he is a good player. Maguire, again, I don't know that. I think Maguire tried. I think he did try. I think he's limited. He always will be limited in certain areas of the game. But Spurs didn't do any attacking, and he did try, and he did. He was having a go at. I'm going to give him a 6. He was having a go at Romero. He tried. He did try. Luke Shaw for me is in the Anana category, and it's not his fault. He should never have been picked, and he was dreadful. 4. Mazraoui. I don't know why Mazraoui got took off. I really don't. I thought he had to battle really hard, and he put a shift in. I'd probably give him a 6 as well. Casemiro. Look, it wasn't the normal Casemiro. I think somebody in the chat said it. It wasn't the normal Casemiro. I think in every other game he's been knocking the ball around, first touch, but I think he just got overwhelmed. It's not his fault. I think he did get overwhelmed. I'd probably give him a 5. Bruno, 4. I think he's got to be there with Luke Shaw and Anna. I thought it was absolutely dreadful. I really do. I love Bruno Fernandes. I think he's a massive player. Maybe he is going to Saudi. Maybe that's why he's switched on. I don't know what it is. But Bruno Fernandes, I've seen Bruno Fernandes have bad games for United. I'm stunned he's done it in a final. Never would have thought we'd see that in a final. His passing was dreadful. His tackling was dreadful. His decision-making was dreadful. His positional sense was dreadful. You're playing with Casemiro against Sarr, Bissouma and Bentancur, and you're all over the place. Indiscipline. Yeah, weird performance, to be honest. My man of the match was Dorgu, actually. I'm going to give him a 6.5. I actually thought he was the best player. I really do. I think it was one of his best performances. I think he never stopped. I think he got forward all the time. He put some really good tackles in. I know we're all pissed off, but I actually thought he did all right. I really do. Ahmad was dreadful. 4.5. Really like Ahmad, but started off quite well and then fizzled out dreadfully. I don't know why. I don't know whether it's fitness. I don't know if it's the yellow card, but yeah, he faded badly. Mason Mount would have to be a 4 as well. Just the thing about Mason Mount is I feel like he's that player that will pop up with a goal and do nothing for 80 minutes. And then people will say he scored a goal. That ain't good enough. That's not good enough at this level. You've got to be in the game. And I think there's times where you don't notice him for 20 minutes. And then he'll have a shot. Or he'll score and everyone will go, Mason Mount's back. And I'll go, yeah, but he hasn't done anything for 20 minutes. It's a confuser for me. Rasmus a 4 as well. Same as Bruno, same as Anana, same as Shaw, same as Mount. Will he be here next season? Another one. Delo, he's barely on the pitch, is he? I'll give him a 6. He put some good crosses in. Got back to being fit. Fair play. Garnacho had a good shot, did what I thought Garnacho would do, overplay, shoot, dribble. Probably has a right to be very pissed off that he didn't start, but I'll give him a 5. Mainu, I didn't even notice he came on, to be honest. Give him a 6. Xerxes didn't look fit, but fair play for getting back. Give him a 5. And then, as I said, Amorim 1. I want Amorim to do well. He's not going to get sacked, but I feel that I think you've got it. You know, it was sabotage, wasn't it? It was dreadful. It was dreadful. Look, I want Amorim's not going to get sacked, and I'm not Amorim out, and this is not the start of me being Amorim out. And I hope next season we can build something, and he will be given time, of course. But I mean, there's talk of him being gone actually. So basically, quote from Ruben Amorim: "If the board and the fans feel I'm not the right guy, I will go tomorrow with no compensation, but I will not quit." I don't think removing Amorim solves our problems, by the way. I think that's a clippable thing that everybody should be saying. Sacking another manager doesn't solve our problems. It really doesn't. It really doesn't. I don't know what solves our problems. We'll talk about that next. Who was your man of the match? Dorgu, 44%. Fair play. Well done. I mean, it's going to mean absolutely sod all, but fair play to him for that. Yeah, no, I stand by the Amorim score. I think that I don't want him to go. And I don't see the point in sacking another manager. But I'm really... yeah, I think you've got to be completely honest about it, haven't you? You have to be honest about it. It's you've been schooled by Ange with a weakened Spurs side. You made bad selections. It's a low point. It's a low point. It's as simple as that. Mark, please get an honour out my club, says Cypher. I don't want to individualise it. I think that's just such a lame excuse, you know. I don't feel Amorim's style... God, these chats are just... I've got to go to the start because it's moving too quick. I'm going to read them and work my way through them, but I need to be at the start here because it's just ridiculous. I'm Jacka says, Amorim said we couldn't handle your Champions League, but we lose chance to rebuild. Bring in Gyökeres. He fucked up. Sure, I'm embarrassed to be here crying, but it hurts. I can't believe this is Man United, says I'm Jacka. There is no hiding for any player. It's time to clear out and really begin the Amorim era, says Valabath. I don't know how we get back. Hard to see how they pass on a major offer for Bruno now, says Caleb. Casemiro, only good player. Amorim out, sell Bruno, says Nicholas. Most of us won't live to see us win a major title, says Izam. Mark, I don't think I can do it anymore. Owners to finance new manager. We get worse every year and my loyalty is tested non-stop. How can we keep going with no light at the end of the tunnel, says Ali. Mark, today's my 22nd birthday and they ruined it, says BHK. Double D says, everyone said the 3 losses to Spurs wouldn't matter. The team selection proved they did. Amorim got it wrong. It's going to be a long summer. Geordie, Amorim should walk. He got it wrong tonight, but don't tarnish your reputation. Enios need to fuck off and Full Sail needed. Dark years ahead. I'll talk about what's next in a moment. Garrick, thanks for your super chat. James W says, no European, no FFP, constraints per yes, FFP. Okay, I don't know what that means, James. I cannot back Amorim today. That was awful, says Michael Doherty. Sell the lot of them. They're all cowards, says Ben. Welcome to the Members Club, Jack. Keel Robinson, Ashworth, who specialises in these situations, set out a realistic plan based on where we are, and we fired him. Yeah, I don't want Gareth Southgate, Keel. I'd rather be in the situation we are than have Southgate in charge. I can't deal with that. And I think that Tusso's right, that the hate should be focused on the Glazers, by the way. I think we make the same mistake again going after managers. Not Amorim out, but that's a huge red flag tonight. Thank you very much. Luke Shaw's last nail in the coffin, terminate his contract, says Jack. Feel absolutely robbed, says Ash. Where do we go from here? I knew we would lose. We could seriously get relegated next season. We won't get relegated, Nathan, but I know it's a low point. When we're going to realise there is no way back, our ownership hasn't changed. New players get affected by old mentality. The club is diseased. Let me talk about no way back, and then we'll carry on. You've got to live by the reality of what you've predicted. Let me just turn this off because we've done the player ratings, and I think man of the match sort of doesn't fit with the tone. Am I back now? Yeah. Okay. I ruined that. I ruined that. I was talking some good stuff as well. I'm okay. I clicked mute when I was getting rid of the other thing. So let me say what I was saying again. We speak. What next for Manchester United? Before this final, we spoke about these two massive contrasts. On one hand, £100 million and Champions League football. And on the other hand, no £100 million and no Champions League football. On one hand, Gyökeres, Ederson, whoever else. On the other hand, none of those players. So that's the reality that we're staring at tonight. It's not a joke. I think sometimes people sensationalise failure to make people get scared. We won't be signing Gyökeres. We won't be signing Ederson. We won't be signing players of that quality. So basically, let's pretend we'd won. And then we get Gyökeres. And then we get Ederson. And then we get Cunha. And then next season, we're getting closer to our rivals. Now look at us now. Now, Liverpool and Arsenal are buying Zubimendi, Frimpong, Wirtz, Gyökeres. So forget them. See you later. Decade away. Gone. Forget it. Spurs, Newcastle, maybe Chelsea, maybe Villa, Champions League football. Man United. So tell me, next season, how on earth are we getting anywhere near the top six? You talk about no European football this next year like it's a one-off. How are we getting? How do we get European football next year? It's not a one-off. I don't. This is what I mean. This game tonight has got to go down as one of the weirdest Man United performances I've ever seen. They were all going to get a pay rise. There was no desperation. There was no. It was literally. You know what? I've seen teams that are going to get relegated play one of the best teams in the league and batter them because they get it. We're going to get relegated. We're going to lose money, this, that, and the other. United have just gone from an opportunity of getting Champions League football and rebuilding the club to, I do not know. But when we talk about what next, let's be very, very clear. Spurs, Arsenal, Man City, Liverpool. There's more as well, isn't there? There's more. Newcastle, and let's say Chelsea or Villa or Forest. That's 6 teams in the Champions League earning 100 million each. We're not one of them. We're not one of them. We can't offer Champions League football. We can't offer big money. We're done. We're absolutely... And guess what? Guess what? On top of that, none of those clubs are £1 billion in debt. We still owe £300 million in transfers for the shit that we've got. It's scary. It's really scary. Like, it's really scary, isn't it? It is, because we can't score goals with the team that we've got. I think what we built tonight to be was something that sends you down two separate paths. And unfortunately, we are walking. There was a pathway that we sort of could see a way out. We're now walking down a pathway where I haven't got a clue. I actually haven't got a clue. It's scary. It really, really is. Yeah, it really is. So when people say to me, "What's next?" what I really fear is that what happens next is Sir Jim and the Glazers will keep surviving. I feel like the club is dying. I feel like tonight won't hit home as hard as it probably should. And I feel like we'll wake up tomorrow and the noise will be from your talk shit and your Sky and your TNT. It will be Amrim needs to go. And that will be the story. And it will be some players need to go. And it will be Cunha, here we go. And it will just be this cesspit of contradiction where we sign Cunha, who is an Amrim player, so he's not going. And it'll be all this noise that will just carry on through the summer. And ultimately, it will allow the Glazers and Sir Jim to survive. And it will all be about maybe there'll be a miracle next season. And then there won't be a miracle next season. And we won't get European football again. And it'll be 2 years without European football. And the debt will grow. And we'll lose more money. And eventually, what will happen is what needs to happen is that we will need to... We need somebody to buy this football club and do something with it. And if they can't accept, if they can't see that, it's incredible. I mean, are they genuinely going to try and build a new Old Trafford? You know, I don't think people really grasp what the first 12 months of this Ineos Glazer relationship is. The Glazers were bad for Man United, but this is worse. This is worse. Like, I know Gary Neville was on about we've got to give them time. They've sacked half the workforce. If I go into a pub that's not doing well and I want to make it better, but then I sack half the workforce, it's not going to work, is it? It's not going to work. It's just basically trying to save money. I think we're in big trouble. I do. I genuinely think we're in big trouble. Because what's basically happening on a very fundamental level is that our rivals are getting richer and better, and we're getting poorer and worse. So anybody who tells me there's a way back, tell me I'm wrong. Our rivals are getting better and richer, and we are getting worse and poorer. So how does this get better for us? Like, literally explain it to me. How does it get better when all our rivals are getting better and richer and we're getting worse and poorer? Like, how does that get better? It doesn't. Do you think Amrim should survive? Do you think Amrim should resign? I can understand why he might want to resign. I don't think it would do him any major harm. If if I'm being if I'm being honest, I don't think it will do him any major harm as an individual, as a manager, because I think that there is always going to be a way back for him to get back into coaching and do well. I think this Manchester. I don't. The only change I want to see at Manchester United is the only change I want to see at Manchester United is a ownership change, and I think until we see that, I genuinely don't see how things get any better at the football club. I've got to go through some of your comments. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, by the way, bottom right hand corner. Feel absolutely robbed, says Ash. Okay, I'm going to go through some of these. Do I think Amrin will resign? What I will say is a little bit of a prediction. And obviously, we're probably going to get more information over the next few days for you. I mean, look, I got told on Sunday that Lenny Yoro and Delo would be fit for the final, and they were. We got told that Semenyo is not a target for Man United, and he's not. Got told that Delap was the priority before everybody else. Got told that Amrin wants Onana out in the international break, and he does. So, look, who knows what we're what's going on there. Sorry, I've just got something about Amrin here. Yeah, somebody was just messaging me about it. As they're obviously watching. I don't think Amrin will resign. I really don't. But what I will say is that I definitely would prepare yourself for some really big earthquakes at Manchester United. Like, I really would. I think that we're going to have to do stuff on the field that we've been doing behind the scenes. Lots of good people have been sacked that shouldn't have been sacked to save money. Lots of things have been done to save money. You know, Christmas parties, charities, raising ticket prices. You're now going to see it hit on the team. And the sad thing is, you can only do it to the people that you can do it to. So you can't get rid of Luke Shaw because he's got 3 years left on his contract. So he stays on 190 grand a week. So you get rid of Mainu, or you get rid of Garnacho, or you get rid of Bruno because people will buy them. It's called asset stripping. You don't actually get rid of the things you should be getting rid of. You get rid of the things you have to get rid of. So that's what we're going to see happening. So it wouldn't surprise me if Amrin walked, because basically he'll be sat in his office and he'll be told by Sir Jim, we're selling Garnacho and we're selling Mainu, and he'll go, what? And he'll go, yeah, we are. And he'll go, what about these players? Well, they've got contracts and no one wants them, so they'll be staying. This is a scary thing. Like, we're going to start selling assets to get money into the club, and we'll get stuck with shit, basically. I think we'll see a lot more youngsters coming into the football club, which won't work. I looked at the final tonight, and I've said it before. You look at Rasmus, you look at Ahmad, you look at Dorgu, you look at Garnacho, you look at Mainu when he comes on, you look at Yoro. There's a lot of inexperience on that team. And I think they try. I don't think they're cowards. I think they try. But we're crying out for experience, and we just don't have it. I mean, I look at the team next season, and I think, okay, Garnacho goes, Cunha comes in, Delap comes in. Is that team going to finish in the top 8? No. It's no better than Wolves. The current team that we've got ain't that good. And then you're going to add Delap and Cunha to it. It's not enough. It's not going to be enough. Unless we've got $500 million under the bed and we can start persuading people to come to Man United without European football, I can't see it. Angel Gomez back? Oh yeah, because everybody's queuing up for Angel Gomez, aren't they? Like, Angel Gomez is exactly the player we were talking about up until 10 minutes ago. Yeah. Angel Gomez is the player that's going to get us in the top 4. Yeah. Good one. You know, but that's probably the sort of player we're going to end up going for. You're right, to be fair. I'm going to go through some of your comments because lots of people have done super chats and I want to make sure that we get them. Maz says, now that the club is dying and Sir Jim is so business-minded, wouldn't it make sense for him to sell? It would, but he's not a businessman with Man United. It's a vanity project. I would hope the Glazers might sell because they are about business and it's fucked. I wonder what Cunha be thinking watching that shite. Yeah, I mean, fair play. He's still going to come in it. Hi, Mark. It's knee-jerk, but I see United targeting a top 10 finish next season and seeing that as a success. Jack, it's scary, isn't it? Andrew says, come on, lads, you read none of my chats. Just read it. Jarbar Drink says, I am behind Amrin, but at the end of the day, we pay the price for sacking managers again. Eric would have won us this final. That team is his team. Lads, it's Tottenham. Says, I mean, you know, as scary as it is, do you bring Rashford back? I mean, do you do that? I mean, I don't know. I just nothing will be off the table now because the club's a bloody mess. And the funny thing is, if you did bring Rashford back, it contradicts everything we did want to do. We wanted to sell Rashford. We didn't think he was good enough, and now we might bring him back. I don't know. I don't know whether we will, but that's what I mean. Like, you end up doing things and contradicting yourself. Hope the financials force the owners out, says Anders. Open heart surgery, Ralph Ranić, says Jake. If there's any positive, you don't have UEFA FFP restrictions for a season at least. You could go our route of gutting and buying big with hope of getting Champions League in a year or two, says Ryan, who's a Chelsea fan. Amram needs to go for his own health's sake, and Cunha needs to wake up and realise that if he joins United, he'll ruin his career, says Kia. Sheikh Jazim, please save us, says Paul. Don't even know what to say at this point. This season has taken its toll, says Sean. I bet Cunha's regretting coming to Man United. Well, he can pull out. That was from Yar. No Champions League football and Rashford and Sancho returning, says Mr. Arnold. I don't think Sancho would ever want to return. Sell Bruno, Garnacho, Mainu. We can get 200 million, says Audi. Bloody QPR in that final day, but a better shift in, says HC. Sir Jim bent us over and screwed us by saving the Glazers, says Jeff. Look, a lot of people have said for a long time that Ineos don't know what they're doing when it comes to football. This might be the first time in my lifetime United actually move up the table when the league resets at the start alphabetically, says Raul. Even my farts have more effort than these players, says Mike. Dilap won't even sign 2 years to relegation then, says Michael. Do you think Osman will come? Says Rez. No. I don't understand all the hate against the Glazers. They've done everything owners should do. Okay, Lucas, we'll move on. Here comes the spin. Cunha, here we go tomorrow. Yeah, but we knew that. Tom, we've got to be fair. We did know that they were going to keep that back. I spoke about that on the morning show this morning. They didn't want here we go before the final because they know if we lose, you need the positive. So they were always going to do that. We could have announced Cunha a couple of weeks ago, but we've kept it back for a down point. This is not a manager or even player issue. It's something much deeper than that. Ethos, admin, culture, fish rots from the head. You look at the last season for Man United, right? £300 million spent in the summer, sacked that manager within 2 months, sacked the director of football within 2 months, and they'd only been here 2 months. Brought a new manager in with a completely different style of play, didn't back him in the January transfer window, got rid of attackers and didn't replace them, sacked half your workforce, raised ticket prices, knocking Old Trafford down. I mean, it's just, I don't think you could list it all, and it's incredible. Next season will be similar if Amrim doesn't realise that Great Britain... Look, you know what, Anil? I will say this on Amrim. It's very hard to see him being successful because he's been persuaded to come to a club on a lie and he's not going to get the summer he needs. Every manager at Man United has had a big summer, their first summer. If you think about Mourinho's first summer, Ollie's first summer, Ten Hag's first summer... And Amrim's first summer is going to be horrific when he needs it to be terrific. So, you know. If the board and fans feels I'm not the right guy, I'll go in the next day without any compensation, but I'll not quit. I'm really confident on my job also today. As you see, I will not change nothing in the way I do things. You know, I'm always open and very clear. Well, you know, I don't think he should change the way he plays, but I think within the game, you can change. Spurs didn't have any attackers. Lack of urgency have been a thing under Amorim. Look at the games we've lost. Amorim needs to start to take accountability. Well, he doesn't, because the lack of urgency comes from the players. That's a mentality thing. Glazers got to love this. They cause the chaos and we fight with each other. Forget the trophy Champions League. What devastates me the most is losing our chance to rebuild, to buy Gyökeres. Not even Delap will join. We're embarrassing, says I'm Jekka. Next season, we will be similar if Amorim doesn't realise that the great Bruno is the fundamental problem, says Anil. William says you're muted. I was muted. Thanks for everyone saying you're muted. Come on, you Spurs, says Samuel. Surely Spurs... Well, we're not the Spurs channel, but surely sacking Big Ange would be ridiculous. To think we got rid of Ten Hag for this, says Nicholas. Yeah, everyone wanted Ten Hag out, mate. Don't come in here now. We can't do that. We've got to take responsibility as a fan base. No one can come in here and say that. This fan base got rid of Ten Hag. Don't start saying that. Even though this was a disaster class, I'm still Amorim in. I don't even know why. Maybe it's just his aura. I like Amorim, dog. I like Amorim. But tonight, it was embarrassing. To get schooled by a part of the bus Ange is, you know, that's gonna stick for a while. That is, and also picking people like Mason Mount and Luke Shaw who've been injured for most of the season and were shit. It's gonna, and putting Bruno in the midfield when he should have started Ugarte. Those things are gonna haunt him for the summer, I'm afraid. Kifil says, Ruben knows he goofed this final in post-match comments. Garnacho right to leave. Senseless tactics and performance. Our club is at rock bottom. Parker says, Bruno and Kaz have not played one game well together, so why do this? Ange pulled a Mourinho on Amorim and exposed him as an amateur. Stephen says, how long does this set United back realistically? How long's a piece of string, mate? I don't know. I mean, we wake up tomorrow, we do the 10 o'clock show, we see what the news is, and we go. Can you make a rebuild for the summer video, include players who should leave and ones who should stay to build around? If I did that now, FIFA Crazy, it would be impossible because I think there's just too many players that need to go. I mean, looking at that team today, I'd keep Maguire for another year. Obviously, I'm going to keep Yoro. I'm going to keep Mazraoui. Luke Shaw's got to go. I'm going to keep Dorgu. Casemiro does need to go, but we'll keep him. Bruno... I mean, I just can't get over that performance tonight. Rasmus can't be the starting striker. We need a striker. Ahmad, I was disappointed with Ahmad tonight. I wouldn't get rid of Ahmad, but I was disappointed. You know what it is? I've just gone through the team and I'm not getting rid of enough players, but mentally wise, it was just, I just don't get it. I don't get... You could say sell them all on that tonight because the lack of intensity and teamwork is just abysmal, but that, you know, I don't want to sell them all, but I'm just like, I've never seen a final like that. It was unbelievable. You can't trust these players. This just further highlights what a horrible mistake it was for the club to force Amorim to come mid-season. It all seems tainted now. But I think one thing that people don't realise as well is that Spurs paid for all their staff to go. Spurs are a team. Man United, and I'm not defending the players in any way, shape or form, but behind the scenes, that club are horrific. Like, there's so many people been sacked that people like. People don't like the Glazers. People don't like Sir Jim. And that includes the playing staff. It's a horrible place to work. The environment's horrible. It really is. If this continues, we'll go down. I know you say that's not happening, but I can't see another way. We'll never get relegated, Silva. I can't have that serious conversation. We won't get relegated. We are shit, but we won't get relegated because look at the players we've got. They will always get around 39 points. That'll be enough. Mark, it's better we lost the game. If we won, there are many things would be swept under the carpet. No excuses from the board now, says Bran. I mean, that might be a positive. That's probably the... That probably is why I love this community, but also I actually do agree. We needed to win. We had to win. We needed the money. It would have got us Gyökeres. It would have got us Champions League football. But in a way, would it have been paper in the cracks? If there's no cracks to paper, then all you've got is the cracks. The scary thing is just where it takes us next. Amrim said he would leave without compensation, says Dean. That was Tottenham's first clean sheet since Man United in February, says Joe. Lovely stuff. This is the second time this has happened where the players don't seem to understand the significance. We had a chance to stop the City treble as well, says Neo. Big Sam is inevitable, says 1 Inch Wonder. You said one means get a new career. Somebody's got to take a 1, Jack, and I think the manager has to take it tonight. I back the manager, so I'm sure he can take it on his shoulders, but you know what? I don't... Maybe it's an age thing. I can't get over that. I won't get over that final. It's the trust is gone. I cannot get over that. I cannot get over that. I thought the subs were late as well. The club will languish out of Europe for years, says Jide. Now that it's over, let's say we don't have paper in the cracks. Let's just ace reality as it is. It's time to face reality, says Jude. Another one. I can see why Amrin didn't want to start till the summer, says If-ish. Amrim said he will quit if fans don't believe in him, says GG. Great show in Dublin, Analogy Bridge. The fans are cracks sitting in the corner. Watch our wife. The club gets badged by owners, says XCN. I think that's it for me. United are fucked for the next 7 years. It feels like engaging with the club at all is funding this poison. I can't watch another second of football until the Glazers are gone, says Heat Willed. Hi, Mark. It's Marcus Brown. I'm begging you use your platform and start a Glazers outpost. Mate, we've done it. It doesn't make any difference. There's people protesting. There's people marching. It won't do anything. Ruben had a game plan, and when Ange played a different way, he didn't have a backup plan. I was actually shocked that Ange played like the way. Spurs were shit, by the way. Apparently, though, Darry, Spurs have been doing that in Europe. I've never seen Spurs play like that. Bruno doesn't show up when it matters, says Denzel. Marlowe says selling Bruno is the only solution now. I think you know what? When you've got 120 million quid, why wouldn't you? Apparently I'm deluded, according to Smart. Hi, Mark. I'm crying my eyes out. Can you give me some positivity? I can't deliver you any positivity. We don't deserve any positivity. And there'll be plenty of football fans out there saying, cry me a river, because they've been through worse. Supporting a football club isn't always about success. Being a Man United fan should be. We shouldn't be in this position, and we've got every right to moan, but welcome to football. Amrim fielded 2 players who were unavailable for 90% of the season, and they just happened to be English, says Pappy. I just want to say I agree with you about the game. However, I'm from Malaysia and I'm 16 and super excited to see my first game live, says Caden. The only good... those players won't want to be there, by the way. They're really not going to want to be there. They're not going to want to fly to the side of the world. They're not going to want to play those games. The only good thing about rock bottom is that the only direction is up, says RGF. Rossa, thank you very much. Unpopular, this makes me want to cash in on Bruno, says Little on Quality. Players don't deserve support, don't watch Villa, says Matthew. I guess the barbecue is cancelled now, says Rob. What goals are there for next season? The FA Cup won't be easy to win, Kashika. People already talking about sacking Ruben. Ruben did the best this year. He need more time and more players, says George. We are now financially ruined. Our club is dead. We have nothing to look forward to. Garnacho and Maina will be sold, says Alex. Can't get over how bad Bruno was, says Grave. Slash wages, get hungry youngsters, says Joe. How much better is Delap than Hoyland? Another project with a less experienced player. I'm dreading next season, says Jackery. Why would Delap choose us over Chelsea if they get Champions League, says CJ. I'm heartbroken, says Zoka. It was all for nothing. Keep Bruno, Ahmad, Yoro and Amrim. I don't need to see any other of them in the colours, says Zocco. I love you, but why? Who don't you trust, says Andrew. And these players don't need rest, Mark. They need retirement, says the Ones Arena. Shouldn't have bought a share of this club. He so-called supports. He's added to the issues. Radcliffe is just as bad as the Glazers, says Hateful Eight. Schooled. He wanted to be smart. Mount clearly was a wrong selection within 10 minutes. There we go. Thank you for all the super chats. I know there's a few that's been missed, but it's been a hectic one tonight. Appreciate your support. I suppose the big question is, would I cash in on Bruno? We don't shirk any conversation here. Would I cash in on Bruno? It depends what the alternative is. £120 million to spend on Preston players isn't worth it. I don't know what you can get. What can you get? What do you get? What do I get with £120 million when I haven't got European football? I don't know what we can get. I don't know what money there is. So I don't know. I think we're all gonna not all gonna wake up, because different fans in the world have still got a whole day ahead of them. But I don't know what we're gonna wake up to tomorrow. I don't know what the stories are gonna be. I don't know what we get with that money. £120 million can buy you Edison and it can buy you Gyökeres, but I don't know. There are players that might sign for Manchester United based on no football, but I don't know. I mean, Garnacho's brother has put out there, not happy that he's been dropped. I'm not happy he was dropped. I'm not happy Mason Mount started. I still don't see Mason Mount as a Man United player. I still see him as a Chelsea player. I don't know why we bought him. I don't know why he started the final. I don't get it. I think he disappears in games, but it's not about one player. Paul Rodgers is laughing about £120 million for Bruno. You do realise we've been offered it from Saudi. I mean, I don't want to get into that mood tonight, but we have been offered it. But I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I think when you look at Brighton, if Brighton have got £200 million, they can't go and buy Rodrigo because they're not in Europe. Can we get players to come to this football club for a year and buy into getting us into Europe? I mean, to get in the Champions League, you've probably got to be in the top 4. It's not necessarily going to be top 5 next year, because there's a lot of shit in Europe next year. The more teams you've got in Europe, the more it can drag your aggregate down. So it might be top 4 next year for the Champions League. Just embarrassing. I'll tell you what, UEFA will be pissed off with Man United. They'll have looked at what we've done in, the Lyon game, the Sociedad game, the final. They'll have looked at what Man United bring to the table, and for us not to be in Europe, they'll be pissed off, because it's like they want big clubs to be in it, and it's impossible. I mean, it's absolutely impossible that United are not playing in Europe next year, and yet we're not. It's a very sobering thought, but yeah, we won't be playing in Europe next season. And I think I think it will be a very busy summer for Manchester United. I do. I think it will be very busy, just not in the way that we probably would have wanted it to be. And look, I'll offer this. You can always look on the bright side. I mean, look, maybe we do sign Gyökeres. I absolutely don't think we will, but maybe we do. We are signing Cunha. I mean, that makes no sense at all. But the big problem I've got is that I look at the attack, especially the attack, and it's crap. It's just, it doesn't work. I think we've got good players, but collectively we don't work. The problem all season has been Garnacho, Ahmad, Rasmus as a front three, even at their best, don't work well. There's no experience there. Xerxes isn't experienced. Mason Mount is never fit. Bruno isn't the best experienced player because he's quite erratic. So there's just no experience in our front three. There's no fluidity. There's no system in our front three. And Cunha might bring some of that, but we haven't scored a goal in our last 2 games, by the way. We never look like scoring against Chelsea, and we never look like scoring against Spurs. We don't score goals. Our defence is okay. We've lost 1-0. I don't think Spurs look like they'd score again. I think if we got a goal back, in the shittest final I've ever seen, the momentum might have been with us. But we can't score goals. Just can't score goals. It's crazy. It really is. I think I'm going to go to bed. I will be on the 10 o'clock show tomorrow. It is another day. And I think there's going to be a lot of conversation over the summer. I really do. I think there's going to be a lot of conversation. And United have got to spin. They've got to spin some plates tomorrow. They have got to start spinning some plates tomorrow. And I don't know how I'm going to react to those plates. But I think it's always important to be truthful. And there is no escaping the fact that the performance tonight was an embarrassment. And if I was a player of Man United, you've got to own it. And you've got to ask yourself why. You can't sit there as an individual and go, I'm Lenny Yoro, or I'm Dorgu, or I'm Maguire, I did okay. You're still part of a team. And as a footballer, it's never about your individual performance. It's about your team performance. And even if you did okay tonight, you've got to look around and go, why didn't they do well? Why didn't they do well? Why didn't they do well? Why didn't we turn up? And you didn't turn up for a final. They didn't get the memo. I don't get it. They just didn't turn up at all. And I don't get it. I don't get it. And I will defend people like Yoro and Dorgu and Maguire, because it's not their job to score the goals. Defensively, I thought they did okay. Mazraoui as well. But you've got to look at it and go, I mean, Bruno had a stinker, didn't he? He had an absolute stinker. As a captain of the team, he had a stinker. But I don't know. I mean, look, let's get Yoro deal done. And then let's move on. Because I want to know what's coming next. I do think it's going to be a really interesting summer. Like, I just don't think it's going to be interesting in the sense of, oh, is it going to be Gyökeres? Is it going to be Ederson? I think it's going to be, are we selling Garnacho? Are we selling Bruno? Who are we going to buy with that money? And let's just remember, you shouldn't be selling your best players to generate money. That's the sort of thing Everton do. We are Everton. We are Everton. That should have been the title. We are Everton. Right, I'll be back with you at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. Wow. And it might just be the fact that I've had a couple of glasses of red wine that I'm feeling quite calm. I can't believe I've got to wake up tomorrow and deal with this scenario. Oh, God. Okay, look, stay safe. We've got each other. We're in it together. And we've got to find a way back. We've got to find a way back. We've got to find a way back. Take care, everyone. Stay safe. Man United got relegated in the 70s. There's always a way back. But I think until we get rid of these owners, there's only one set of people who've set us on this track, and it's the Glazers. The Glazers put us in this position. The Glazers put us in this position. Yeah, some of the players are crap. Yes, Amrim got it wrong tonight. But the Glazers set this in motion 20 years ago, and it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. Take care, everyone. I'll speak to you in a bit. 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, I'm back. Don't miss it, because I think it's going to be a very interesting reaction, because that's the first time you're going to see how I really feel after a night's sleep. Take care.